I really enjoy the process of being creative every day. I think for me, the biggest thing now is I'm so thankful that I get to be creative the whole day. And that's the difference between my 9 to 5 and now, because I'd get into the office and I knew exactly what I had to do. I'd sit in front of the laptop the whole day. And that just became very mundane for me. And now it's just, I'm really searching into myself and listening to music the whole day and thinking about experiences or conversations that I've had with other people and how they view life, and I get to put that into music constantly, and that's something I'm really grateful for.
Hi everyone, welcome to the NOMONEY.MOPLANTS podcast. My guest today is an amazing soul and R&B songwriter and entrepreneur. She released an EP in 2018 titled Tuto, and she will have a new EP coming out soon this year. Together with her band, she is available to do performances all over Bloemfontein and Joburg, and is also available for private event bookings in and around the areas. Welcome, Tsimo.
Hello.
I know I have just given a short introduction, but please introduce yourself to the listeners.
So hi to everyone. My name is Tsimo. I am a singer-songwriter. I was born in Lesotho, and we moved to Bloemfontein very early in my primary school years. I think I was about 7 when we moved to Bloem, and I spent my whole life there. And so I spent my whole life there. I went to school there, went to varsity there, started my singing career there, and then moved over to Joburg. So that's where I am now.
Oh, great. And growing up, did you know that you wanted to become a songwriter and a singer?
I definitely knew that I wanted to be a songwriter level. So I never thought that I could sing. I thought if I'm going to sing in choirs or in groups, not where people are only listening to me, because I was a bit shy. So I definitely was interested in writing music, especially for other people. And it was when I got to varsity that I took part in things like SAD and stage show, and that's when I got the chance to perform. So when I got to varsity, I met a couple of other friends who were also interested in music, and we decided to form a little band. And that's where we started performing, and then I just fell in love with the stage from there. So that's when I discovered my voice as a vocalist, and I started exploring my writing even more and just putting the two together.
Oh, that's amazing. It's very interesting that you say that you were shy, because most people who can sing, oh my goodness, you will never hear them stop singing. Like, so was it the same? Like, were you just shy and singing like by yourself, or were you making sure that everybody else knew it?
No, definitely not. I think even now I won't even go out of my way to sing. When I'm singing a song, I think even at my performances, it's always about the message of the song. I'm always trying to engage with the audience. So I spend a lot of time talking on stage, actually. So for me, it's never really about my voice being heard. It's just about, bringing a message across. Like a pastor would go on stage and they have their message, or a lecturer gets on to in their lecture room. For me, it's the same sort of concept, that I'm just trying to bring a message across, and it's through music.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really cool. You worked in corporate before this. I don't know, are you still working the normal 9 to 5, or have you gone full-time music?
So I used the lockdown year, the year that lockdown started to really pursue my music. That's when I resigned from my job.
What?
And so I resigned right at the beginning of the lockdown, and then I went over to Joburg. And for me, I just felt like it was time. I was really miserable working a 9 to 5. And you think you have to do something because you have all these responsibilities and you don't realize how sometimes it just kills your spirit. And yeah, so I decided that, you know what, it's going to be quiet right now. Let me use this opportunity to go to Joburg. I contacted people that I know there. I started spending a lot of time with them. I started linking up with people that I think could help me get linked to the record labels. Yeah, so that's what I started doing. I decided I'm going to go to Joburg and network. I'm going to spend my time writing music. I'm going to spend my time in studio, just really master my craft. Because I think before the lockdown, I hadn't really gotten time to get to know myself as a musician, even though I wanted to pursue music so badly. So yeah, I decided to use the quiet time to really work on my craft, to get to know people in the industry, and just to see how I'm going to navigate myself in the music industry, since it's something I really want to do.
That is amazing. Like, what a big step. Like, wow. Wow. So, wait, okay. Surely, yes, as you said, like, it wasn't a thing that you just decided up and, like, I'm just going to up and go. It was something that you'd been thinking about for a very long time. But I know people, they're like, but you know, what are people going to say? What was, like, were you even thinking about that, or were you just like, you know what, I've been thinking about it long enough, let me just go for it?
I think, yeah, by then I had worried about what people are going to say for so long that by the time I made the decision to just resign, I was over it. And you know, you're worried about that for so long, only to realize that nobody cares. Everybody is just worried about their own life.
So true, yeah.
Everybody is focused on themselves, and you need to do the same. I mean, how far are you going to get if you're busy watching everyone else and they're moving on and focusing on themselves? So for me, I also just felt like, you know what, I'm getting older, and me not pursuing what I want to pursue is only going to depress me in the end. And I'm just going to spiral downwards. So rather, I use the time that I have to really start pursuing the things I want to pursue and just pace myself, you know. I'm not that old, so I can give myself another 10 years to just find a way to navigate myself. And even if I don't make it in the industry in the way that I would have wanted to, just find new ways of pursuing music. Because yeah, I mean, it's not really an industry that I can say that it's for sure I'm going to make it in the way that I want to. But I could make it as a writer. I could make it as a sound engineer. You know, there are different ways, and I really wanted to spend the time to get to see how I can get into the music industry and still get to do what I love. Yeah.
Yeah, that actually goes into my next question. Like, in terms of the business of music, I think all of us just think, oh, it's just about the person who's going to be singing, but we don't necessarily think about the different aspects of it. And I've also experienced it in agriculture. Many people are like, oh, you just become a farmer, but actually there's so many aspects of it. So what I want to know is, like, what have you learned, especially in this past year, about the business of music?
The first thing I learned is that you can't do it by yourself. You're definitely going to have to get a team, especially if your main goal, as for me, I mean, I'm still headed towards becoming the singer. So I have to have a team, and I need to depend on them. So I need management. I need the record labels for PR. I need someone who's going to do the marketing, someone who's going to do the distribution. But the main thing I also saw is that there are different avenues, that while I'm pursuing those things, I could be a songwriter for someone else. I could come in as a sessionist and do the backing vocals. You know, there's so many ways that I can be making an income in the meantime while I'm trying to get to where I want to be. So also, you could just be the singer's PA. Like, you could literally go to Lyra and say, hey girl, can I just fetch your water in the meantime, and learn from you and also make an income. But for me, I saw that the biggest avenue that I could make money from is songwriting while I'm working towards where I want to be.
That's really cool. So what is the typical day in your life, or a week, a day or a week you choose, in your life look like then as a musician or as a songwriter? How does that look for you?
So I think the biggest thing, it's definitely not a 9 to 5. It's really running your own business. So you have to wake up a lot earlier, and just plan out your day. So for me, normally I wake up, there'd be maybe a couple of songs from different artists that I need to get done. So I'd spend the whole day writing the music. On some days I'd be going straight into studio and laying the vocals down. On some days I'm meeting up with the singer who's going to be singing the song, and I have to teach them the song. So, and then on a lot of the days during the week, you also have to do your vocal training.
Okay. That's so interesting.
Hey?
It's so interesting. You know, I actually heard Shikana saying also she does a lot of vocal training because she doesn't feel like she can hit certain notes or whatever. And I was like, that is so weird.
I have definitely heard. I think for me, while I was working the 9 to 5, because I didn't have the time to do it, I'd get into studio and be so nervous in front of the engineer, because now I'm not used to singing as much as I'd like to. And you do need to work on your voice. It's a muscle, and if you're not going to train it, it's going to flop. And you don't want to be flopping in front of people. So you definitely do need to train your voice on a regular basis, at least twice a week. Make sure that you're going in for vocal training, or when you wake up, you're warming up your voice. So you do things like that in the morning, and then you get your sessions done during the day. But for me, a lot of the time is spent working on the songs.
So how is what is your process of songwriting? Is it that the people give you what the message should be and then you just make it up, or what is your process?
Yeah, so I haven't had the experience where someone comes to me and they tell me how they're feeling. Normally, the producer is the one that I'll be working with. So they'll tell me that they're writing a song for a certain artist, and then they just send me the beat. So normally it's based on what the beat makes me feel like, or the mood that I get into while I'm listening to the song. From there, normally then I know which direction I'm going to take with the song, and I start writing.
That sounds like a lot of freedom that could be bad or good. It makes me a little bit nervous.
Yeah, no, it's not easy, because I think when I had to write songs for myself, it was a lot easier. Like, I'd be going through something and then I knew exactly what I'm going to write about. Like, I wouldn't even have to think of the melody, because I already know what I'm writing about. I'm feeling that way. But now it's a lot more technical when you're writing for someone else, because you have to think about the fact that, let's say I'm writing a love song level, I still have to make sure that it's catchy. I still have to make sure that the melodies are something that someone else is going to enjoy. So I've also learned about the technicalities of writing a song, and you have to bridge the gap between evoking emotion and still being technical with the song.
Sure.
Yeah.
This is a craft. I know many people. Yes, it is and that's why we all enjoy listening to music, because it's just it's well thought of. Like most music, not everything, but it's very it's very thought through. So what is your favorite part about what you're doing now? Like, what are you enjoying the most?
I really enjoy the process of being creative every day. I think for me, the biggest thing now is I'm so thankful that I get to be creative the whole day. And that's the difference between my 9 to 5 and now, because I'd get into the office and I knew exactly what I had to do. I'd sit in front of the laptop the whole day, and that just became very mundane for me. And now it's just, I'm really searching into myself and listening to music the whole day and thinking about experiences or conversations that I've had with other people and how they view life, and I get to put that into music constantly, and that's something I'm really, really grateful for.
Yeah, no, that it's a really amazing opportunity that you've created for yourself. I think many people sit in resentment about dreams that they have not followed, and they don't realize that to be honest, it's in their court. The ball is in their court to make that move or to make that decision. It can be hard at first, but the rewards are great. What do you think is the hardest part of what you do, or your least favorite part of what you do?
So far, studio time. I mean, like, I don't know. I think I did watch Shakina's video where she would say she'd be cutting and pasting, and I never thought I'd be that artist, but I definitely am, because you could be thinking that you're singing a note right, and you're not. The 5 other people in the studio are hearing something completely different, and you're going to do that take 100 times until you get it right. So far, that's my least favorite part. But of course, when the song comes out and then it sounds beautiful, you're so happy with the work that you put in.
Yeah, no. But so wait, because I've heard you sing live and you're amazing, but is the live versus the studio, like, which one do you prefer, and which one do you think sounds better?
I'm definitely a studio artist. Of course, I sound better because in studio, people have, they've edited your voice. They've fixed the notes where you've gone wrong. But I think, it depends on the day. I mean, there's some days where I enjoyed a live performance. I definitely enjoy engaging with the crowd and just seeing their faces and seeing what I'm singing, when I'm singing, like how are they feeling, and I just enjoy seeing them enjoy the music. But I think I also enjoy the process of getting a song done, especially in the writing process when you're in studio and the creative juices are flowing. So I think it's a bit of both for me. I enjoy it. I can't even say which one is my favorite.
No, but you sound good both ways. Firstly, what were you doing? I forgot to ask, what were you doing before this? I know you were in corporate, but what work were you doing?
So I was working at the University of the Free State. I was doing the student admin for the medical students.
Oh yeah, no, I can imagine that can be a little bit too mundane. But exactly. What advice can you give someone who's looking to do that switch and who's looking to go into a career in music?
So I would definitely say, think it through. Plan everything out. Make sure that you have your support structure, because it's not going to be easy in the beginning. In the beginning, most of the time, you're pouring money into music and you're not seeing it come back. So really set out your support structure. Talk to your family and help them understand what you're about to do and how important it is to you, and that you're going to need their support. And I will say this to anyone level, pursue your dream anyway. I think that the biggest thing that I'm realizing is that I always thought I want to sing in front of 1 million people, and now I'm at a point where I just want to make music, even if it's only one person that's going to hear the song. And you're still pursuing your dream if you're making money in other ways. You are still fulfilling your purpose, whether it's only 5 people who are going to hear your song versus 100,000 people. If it's what you're called to do, then do it anyway.
I completely agree.
So I'd say, plan it out, get your support structure ready, do your research on the industry that you want to get into, and just go for it and keep going. Don't worry about who's listening, who's not listening. Just do it.
Solid advice. You spoke on purpose and your calling. I know a lot of Christians do this whole thing, like, oh yes, it's my calling, and then they get there and then they have like 15 different callings, but it keeps changing every now and then. What do you think? What do you think the role of your faith has been in your career and in the work that you're doing?
I think it's not something that I ever thought of myself, but a lot of people come to me and they'll say that they're healed through the music that they hear. When I'm singing or just a song that they would have heard on radio or whatever. And I really think that God has put me in music specifically to communicate, to heal. And that's exactly what I want to do. I want to know that if I'm having a conversation with you or you're listening to my song, you're going to feel better afterwards. I think for me, that's the main thing that I want to do, that I want to leave someone feeling better than they were before I met them.
Oh, that's really, like, it's so sweet. I love that. I really do. That's amazing. Last quick fire question. Do you listen to any podcasts? If so, what's your favorite podcast?
Okay, so I listen to Sarah Jakes Roberts' podcast. I really enjoy her. I also listen to Jeannie Mai. I think she really and vibrant. Yeah, I really enjoy her. I really enjoy her podcast.
I didn't even know she had one. So this is, thank you. I'm gonna definitely check it out.
Yeah, you should check her out. She's a cool one. And for some reason, I don't like him all the time, but there's a guy called MacGyver. Oh,
is it Mac G?
Mac G.
Yeah. I've seen his. I haven't actually. His podcasts are too long for my. I literally have like a 30-minute cut off on a podcast.
So on the days that I decide I'm gonna sit down and do my nails or whatever, I listen to Mac G, and I find him pretty funny most of the time. So I enjoy his podcast as well.
Oh, that's great. And what's your favorite thing to eat?
My favorite thing to eat. Okay, so I've really grown a love for just African food in general, and I'm really enjoying Nigerian food. Like story, but right now my favorite is definitely the jollof rice.
Love it, yeah.
The fish, I'm definitely enjoying Nigerian food right now.
Oh, that's great. And do you have a favorite plant or flower?
A lily.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah, definitely.
I love plants, yeah.
Oh, I love it. Please pimp yourself out. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. People, where can people find you? Where can they book you? Yeah, give us all the details.
Okay. So people can find me on Instagram. Just type Tsimo, Tsimo, Tsimoloho Lekaota on Instagram, Tsimo on Facebook, on Twitter, Tsimoloho Pearl. And then if they want to book me, they can just look up on the social media pages. They'll find my email address right there.
Whoa, thank you so much, Tsimo. I will link all of your socials on the show notes. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I really, really had a good time learning about your craft and your journey. And I'm excited for the EP that's coming out. Tell us about the single that's coming. You said 17th of April.
Yeah, so the single that's coming out, I actually wrote the song 2 years ago, and I've been sitting with the songs waiting for the perfect time to release the music. But I really felt like now is the perfect time for me. I'm in a season where I'm finding that I have to let go of a lot of things. And a lot of people, just a lot of things that I thought I needed in my life, and I'm realizing that I'm not anymore. And I think that's a phase that everyone sort of had to go through, especially during the lockdown. Like, you really had to sit down with yourself and look at what's really important. So the song is called Ngiyahamba.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's dropping on the 17th of April.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be amazing. Thank you so much. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Thanks for listening to this week's episode. See you in the next episode with another amazing guest. Bye.